So my name is Varun Bharti, and I'm the president of the Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society. Today, I'm joined by Alec Hermes, founder, CEO of CometLED's. For those of you who don't know, today we're filming the Rutgers Entrepreneurship Spotlight Series. Basically, we're giving a platform to student founders like yourself to discuss not only your story, but the story of your company. For the viewers, Alec, give us a quick intro about yourself.
Right. So I'm Alec Hermes.
Yeah.
I just turned 21 today.
Yes. Happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday in the comments.
And I'm in Rutgers Business School. I'm a marketing major with a minor in business admin. And I'm CEO and founder of CometLED's for the past 2.5 years.
Amazing. So before we get into your company and the vision of your company, the viewers can see this picture behind us. Do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about this picture? Personally, I think that this is amazing. I think that this picture really embraces what it means to be an entrepreneur. It shows the raw hard work and dedication. It shows the trenches and what you have to go through to get to where you are today.
Right.
Tell us what's going on in this picture. What's so important about this picture?
So about 2 years ago, I started in my garage with just a monitor, some random computer from Amazon, a keyboard, and then a random office chair. And I didn't spend a lot of money on the setup. I spent more money on reinvesting into inventory and expanding the company as a whole. So that's my parents' garage. We work in the United States. I got a flag that says Comet on it. And then we put the LEDs around a little bit, and that was it. That was my sanctuary. That's where I worked all the time.
Yes.
And I made sure to take a photo from the very beginning to remind myself, wherever I am in the future, what it was like before and where I worked before, and that you don't need a ton of money or capital in the beginning, and you could start with just a vision and believing in yourself.
Yes. I think it's amazing, man. His parents' garage, that's what's behind us right now. It's also the headquarters of CometLED's, right? Amazing. So now let's talk a little bit more about CometLED's now.
Right.
Intro the company, intro how you came up with the idea. Yeah.
Right. So I went to CometLED's University, and I was walking around. I was a freshman at the time, and I was walking around, and every single dorm had all these windows, and everyone had the LEDs. They were red, green, blue, and I never had LEDs before. So I was so fascinated by the idea, why does everyone have these LEDs? Because they look corny. They don't look that cool, and they look tacky.
Yeah.
So I remember going out that night, and I saw even at the fraternity parties I would go to that people had LEDs, and I said, there has to be a market for this. So I looked around to find something that was cool, because if people know me personally, they know I'm a little bit extra, and I like to get things that are very, cool and different than the rest, and I couldn't find anything different. So that's where I started. I thought, how cool would it be if I take my own ideas and implement them into LEDs and make them do cool and different and unique modes? And that's where it all started. So I went on LinkedIn, and I started messaging people. I said, hey, my name is Alec Hermes. Are you a computer software major, right? Can you help me with this idea? And I'd pitch this idea, and people would say, no. And eventually this one girl put me in contact with this guy. His name was Colin, and he helped me create CometLED's where it is today. And we came up with over 100 different modes. I pitched the ideas to him. He made it happen, put on the software with the chip. We worked closely with distributors overseas, and it all came together.
Yes, that's amazing. So I think normally, for all the viewers watching the Spotlight series, you may see a pattern in the entrepreneurs that are here today. The pattern being that a majority of them are building software products. But Alec, you're a little different, right? Because what you've built is not only a software, but also a hardware product
as well, right?
That's amazing. So before we talk about your vision for the future of the company, let's talk about what you think about the industry that you're in, right? So consumer packaged goods it's pretty broad. Let's hone in on commercial LEDs.
Right. So now there's LEDs that do all these cool modes and features and have all these designs, and a lot of people ask themselves, right, whether it's with clothing, with LEDs, with any product they make, why are people going to buy from you?
Yeah.
Right? And why are people going to buy from me? Yeah. I'm a 21-year-old in New Jersey that works in his parents' garage.
Yes.
Right? And you have to sit back and you have to understand what is your why and why you do what you do. Yeah. And it separates yourself, and you differentiate yourself afar from all the competition. So there are other LEDs that are probably made way more professionally, whether it's in China or the United States or a third world country. But CometLED's, I see, it's in its own area, because I'll go on TikTok and I'll make videos that relate to the consumer, and I'll stay up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. talking to the viewers, and I'll put every single mode on and I'll connect with their emotions, right? And that's how I've been able to create this excitement behind my company, because there's a face behind it.
Yes.
When you look at products on Amazon or Walmart or Target, there is no face. You're just buying a product. And when someone buys from CometLED's, it's like they're buying an experience.
Yeah.
And they're buying from someone that cares, that works hard, and will make sure that they're satisfied no matter what. So right now in the LED industry, people are still coming up with new ideas and being more creative. We still have our own, tricks and secrets that we keep to ourselves that make us always, one step ahead. But the biggest thing is how you handle your company. And we care about the future and what we want to do. We care about the customer, right? And the consumer is the most important person, because people often say, Alec, you're a CEO, you don't have a boss. And they're wrong, because the customer is my boss.
Yes.
And you have to take care of those who take care of you.
Before we talk about your vision for the future of your company, I think it's important for the viewers to understand just how hard it is to get to where you are today. To be sitting here with other student founders and discussing your company, discussing your journey. Tell us, man, how hard was it to get here? Tell us about your personal entrepreneurial journey. What were the hardships? What were the obstacles? What were the initial success stories of Fenton?
Right.
Yeah.
So when I first started with the idea, the hardest thing was to find someone that would believe in the vision. Because oftentimes I tell people that I have this idea or that idea, and they would shoo me away. They would tell me that I'm crazy, that it makes no sense, and that I'm at college and to focus on my academic courses. Yeah. And to that I would say no, and I would ignore them, and I would keep working. So the hardest thing was finding someone that like I could tell the vision to, and they would support, right? But once I was able to overcome that, the rest came to me kind of easy. We worked with Chinese distributors overseas, and I would stay up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and write emails with them. We'd get on Skype calls, and we'd have a translator, and we'd negotiate back and forth and back and forth. But I had this struggle because I wanted to sell product, but I never had the product to begin with. So how would I be able to do that? And this happened back in 2021 when COVID was happening. So I had this idea that I'm going to post on TikTok, and I'd make videos, and after I could sell X amount, so let's say I sold 100 LEDs, I'd have enough money to buy about 500 LEDs. So I would do like a pre-sale, and with the amount for like timing and difficulties with COVID for shipping, I was able to make it where people would buy my product. And I got lucky because my first video I posted on TikTok got 350,000 views, right? And people might wonder, right, how was I able to be so successful on TikTok?
Yes.
It's because I don't create advertisements. I would disguise my product into videos that are trendy. So I would see something that's trending or becoming a trend, and I'd sit in my bed, not in a special place or this and that, and I'd say, how can I implement my product into that trend? Whether it's a dance video, a joke, a meme, whatever it is. And I would implement my product into that. And that's how I was able to find all my success throughout TikTok. So I'd post those videos, and after about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I was able to sell about 200-ish, 300 LEDs, and I was able to take that money and be able to buy inventory for about 600. And I was able to ship everything from China to the United States, and we were able to work. And after that, I sat back, and I was on the phone with a couple people, and we said, okay, Alec, you sold out, you're good. You might be a little lucky, though. Did you get lucky? Because you only do this once. Yeah. And to make, X amount of money and do this and that, it's like, is this luck or is this real?
Yeah.
So I said, no, this is real. And nobody believed me until you put your money where your mouth is. And I'll never forget, they said, okay, Alec, you're going to pay yourself. How much are you going to pay yourself? And I looked at them and I said, zero. Yeah. I'm going to pay myself zero. And I'm going to take all the money that I made and I'm going to reinvest it, and I'm going to double what I had before. And that's what I did. And in February, I launched. And instead of it taking 2.5 weeks to sell out, it took me 3 days. And I did a limited inventory. And we sat down again on the phone call. And we said, Alec, all right, you're cool. All right, you're showing us what's up. Okay. How much are you going to pay yourself? I said, you guys are crazy. I'm paying myself squat. Nothing. Yeah. Reinvested all of it again. Yeah. And it would happen in March. And this is where I found a little bit of an issue with TikTok, because videos were not trending as much. Yeah. And it wasn't as exciting. So I told my parents I wanted to go to Los Angeles. And I wanted to travel out there, go to Hollywood, and work with these influencers and these celebrities that told me and promised me that they would help me. Yeah. So I flew out to LA. I flew nice. I stayed in a nice hotel. I did all these things. And I remember going to the hotel, and I'm staying, whatever, on the 20th floor, and I think I'm the man. I open up the curtains, I see, I made it.
Yeah.
And I pick up the phone, and I start calling people. And it rings.
Yeah.
No one picks up. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Let me call someone else. I call someone else. No one answers.
Yeah.
I call someone else, no one answers.
This is when you're in California.
Yes.
And you're calling
Yes.
people.
So I got there
Yeah.
with the vision that I was going to work with these people. So I'm like, yo, I'm in LA.
Yeah.
Let's do some work. Let's do something crazy, right? And no one was picking up the phone. And it was the first day. So I was calm. I was trying to be calm. So then the second day came, and people were still not picking up the phone. So I got a little upset and worried. And after 2 days became 3, 3 became 4. And eventually a couple people responded. But a lot of people acted too cool. And they didn't want to help me. And I learned something really valuable.
And these are the same people that said they would help
Yeah.
before you flew up to California.
So crazy. I found myself sitting in that room
Yeah.
at 18, 19 years old saying, I messed up. Like, I'm here. And this is like one of the biggest things that actually, like, not a setback, but a lesson.
Yeah.
Because when something bad happens, instead of it being negative and you getting so upset and flustered, you sit back and you think, how can I learn? And my dad taught me the only person you have to bet on is yourself. And from there, I came back and I went back home to New Jersey, sat down, we had a long conversation, and I worked harder, and I'd sit on my phone longer hours, more time, trying to find trends, and then it blew up, made more TikTok videos, became more successful, whatever. But the biggest thing is that you learn to bet on yourself. A lot of people are reliant on others, and you need other people to help you out. CometLED's, the logo was made by someone. The design, like in my garage, I had people help me out. I have supporting casts. But you only need to rely on yourself and your vision. Like, if you're capable of what you think you could do, then you can most definitely do it.
Amazing. What vision do you have for the future of CometLED's? What makes CometLED's better than any other commercial LED manufacturer or producer out there?
So the biggest thing is that if someone has LEDs, they'll know that the adhesive normally falls off pretty easily. Yeah. So you can't really tell from the photo, but they stick on pretty well. They're not going to fall off. So that's the biggest thing. So at first we had this cheap adhesive, but there's ways to upgrade it. So we're not cheap with our product at all, especially because we assemble every single unit in my garage. So first thing we did was make sure we have the highest quality LED strip. If you look at our LEDs, you can even tell from the photo they're pretty bright. There's 300 LEDs on a 16-foot strip. Normally there's 300 LEDs on a 32-foot strip, a 64-foot strip. That's why each bulb is spread apart like every 2 inches. You'll see one and then one and then one. Ours are so close together, so then the patterns look so cool. And how many patterns we have? We have over 120 different unique modes, and you could change the intensity to make them go slower or faster, and you could change the speed as well, and of course the brightness.
Amazing. So what you're saying is that not only did you create somewhat of a hardware innovation with the reduced distance in between each bulb in a LED strip, but then you went on to create a software innovation in the patterns that are displayed in the strips.
Because if you look at the BlackBerry phone, the old BlackBerry with the dot and the keypad, if they wanted to update it, you can, because that's hardware. Yeah. And the vision behind software is different. And that's what we saw with CometLED's. So we code a chip, and you put the code of all the different modes onto the chip, and you sync in all that stuff. But the app can update, and software can change, not hardware. Yeah. The product will stay the same, but the product is pretty great, right? We have a 10-foot cord, that white cord you could see that's really high quality. You have a 3D box to protect the chip. Yeah. So then the chip will not break, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. You have the high quality LED strip with 300 LEDs on it, right? But the software can change, and that's where the money is. And allowing that to be able to be changed allows consumers to want to buy more from us because they know in a month, 2 months, 3 months, there's going to be new modes on their LEDs.
This is amazing. What advice do you have for aspiring student founders like yourself?
Right. Balance is difficult. Yeah. If you want to be successful, from my story and my vision and everything that I have today, right, there was never balance. Yes. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to set your priorities. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have your top 2, 3, or 4 priorities, but there's going to be imbalance. And a lot of people spend a lot of time, there's objectives and goals. You have to set objectives to complete goals, right? And that's the biggest thing. So you have to sit down and see what are your objectives, right? And how can you be successful while being in school as well, so you have success on both sides. But a lot of people get stumped and they think about trying to be balanced. And the truth is that there will never be balance. And if you look at other CEOs and founders and startups, there's no balance either, because I'll be going to class, but then I'll be up at 1 a.m. responding to customer emails, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you love it as well. So if you love what you do, then you'll be able to find success, right? So that's the biggest thing. You should not worry about trying to find the middle ground or the balance. There's always going to be imbalance. Now, how can you fix that? Maybe you have some people help you out at school. Maybe you have people help you out with your company. But you're going to have to understand from the very beginning there's going to be imbalance. And as long as you love school and you love what you're working on, you can find success in both areas.